Um, Yesterday I was talking about the army of Sims going to AI, and this would have a huge impact. I don't think that people realize how much of an impact it would have on women, on their egos, because they have fragile egos. Really, they do. They can't handle rejection at all. They still, to this day, claim to be feminists and equal to men, but they don't approach us. They don't do anything. They still want to be approached. They still want to be courted. They still want to, generally speaking, not all, but yeah, predominantly they are just their egos are weak. Did I turn on the right street? So yeah. So anyway, this whole feminist thing is bullshit. Like, I would think it's legit and it would last a long time if like these women are out here fighting to be able to be drafted. If these women were about diversity with the dirty jobs, but they're not. What they don't want equality. They want they want to be superiority. That's what they want. They want to be superior to us. Like, there's this whole notion of enslaving people like me to make up for the past, even though I had nothing to do with it, and I'm not benefiting from any of that. There's this notion that only people who look like me are the devil, and we're the only ones that did anything bad. Like, men are so bad, but look what the hell we've built. Look, with the help of women's supporting us, supporting our egos, like the technology, society. I mean, now it's decaying, but it was a beautiful thing back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Like, there's so much culture, so much creativity. But it is what it is, man. But we let women take over. We lost our balls. We are weak. Men are weak. But if we actually, like, okay, it could be a huge perfect storm for women, and where I say here is the bubble that the women are in right now will just pop. If you mix the simps, because like these simps are pathetic losers, man. These people, and I don't like to call people losers, like, but like they have no respect for themselves. They're like one of these people that like to go to the dominatrix to get dominated and humiliated. They're like cucks, man. They have no self-respect. They're fine with like watching their woman get banged out by like 5 other guys. They don't care. So like the simping is never gonna stop. But if a lot of simps go towards AI and they abandon women online, if that happens, at the same time, around the same time, AI takes a lot of these office jobs. So these women who mostly women are going to college right now, they're gonna have to pay back that student loan debt, so they're going to have to work. We're going into a society where it's going to be really, really hard financially to support other people. We're pretty much already there. you have to sacrifice so much. I had to sacrifice so much supporting my kids, man. I had to go without. They had to go without. Compared to the people in our environment, like they had everything that they needed. They lived, and I live better than most of the people in the world. So I'm not complaining when it comes to that. I'm just saying, like, the average person here in America, they would not be happy living the way I've been living, to be able to support my kids and not be on welfare and any of that shit. And I'm sorry, I'm ahead of the curve, man. I am. I'm ahead of the curve. I think I was born before. I think I was ahead of my time. So I'm not special. There's plenty of people born before their time, but I think that's why timing is always off for me, because I'm way ahead of way ahead of things. And I should really start benefiting financially from this and stop fucking around and being lazy, because I really could. So when you have all the simps go to AI, and then you have a lot of these office jobs replaced by AI. So women have to work to pay for themselves. Since they're independent, they don't need no man. They're gonna have to work. They're gonna have to go do these dirty jobs to pay for the student loan debt. What do you think they're gonna do? And I'm not saying that there's not gonna be women that are strong and independent. They'll be like, yeah, or there's not women that'll do dirty jobs. There's this woman at work yesterday. She's an older woman, and she looks like she's like in her 50s or 60s, trying to do my job. And I'm like, man, she ain't gonna last. Like, she's extremely slow, trying to pick up these heavy boxes. Yeah, that's what they got to look forward to, like doing heavy work, heavy lifting, dirty jobs. And mind you, this woman's she looks pretty tough, but she's old. But when I say we're going to be working until we're dead, that's what it means. We're going to be working until we're dead, unless AI takes a lot of our jobs and we have some type of a socialist universal basic income. Because we're going to have too many old people compared to young people. And then that's why I think that euthanasia is going to be normalized and people are actually going to want it. So like I said, if you're dependent off the government, they might euthanize your ass. So women, when you have this perfect storm for women where you have, I'm not repeating myself, you already know, okay. They have to go back and work. What do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to, most of these women are going to try to be like independent? They're going to look and be like, fuck this shit, man. I need to find me a man. I don't give a damn. I don't care what I got to do. I don't care if I got to be a 50s stay-at-home mom. Like, I don't care. And other women are going to notice this. Other women are going to see this. Because they're going to have to, because that's the only time people do any change in their life, is when they go through fucking pain. When people go through pain, it's like a big wake up call. It's a slap in the face to like get your shit together. And that's the only way that I think that's what's going to happen. I think things are going to get more conservative. That's what, and that's what kind of like worries me too, is I think there is element of, there could be a next Hitler coming, and that's why I say, like, euthanasia, like that might be normalized, and people might be happy with that, because like people can get to the point where they're just tired of parasites. People like parasiting off of them with the welfare, social security, all that bullshit. And I think that we should have a systems set up so kids are taken care of and old people are taken care of, for sure. But able-bodied people should, it definitely shouldn't be the government your daddy. You should be able to go on assistance living for a little bit. And it's so weird, is like it's like an entrapment. It's so hard to get off of welfare, man. It really is. You gotta work hard. You gotta go without shit. You go from not, like, I was on it when my kids were little, right? So I still had to pay my bills, but they basically went off of what I made. I still worked and all that, but since I wasn't getting paid that much, you know, I got assistant living and all that shit. I still paid rent, but it wasn't the full rent. Like, I paid $365, my rent was like $600. And then whenever I got raises, they took more of my shit away. And eventually I got off of that shit. I was only on it for a couple of years. So I got my shit together. I got my GED, and then I went and looked for a real fucking job instead of working fast food at the time. But it was hard, man. I had to go without health insurance for like 4 years. I don't think I had health insurance anyway, like but anyway, it's like you have to sacrifice, and there's people who are on welfare that don't have to work at all, and they're thinking to themselves, why am I gonna get up and go to work and make and have the same standard of living? And that's their mentality. So people need to be weaned off of welfare, you know what I mean? So it should be treated kind of like unemployment. You're only on it for a little bit of time, and if you can use it to get ahead, you should be able to use it to get ahead. You know what I mean? Like, they should be tracking everything, like whatever you can make and hustle, like that's just to help you to get along. But they don't want it so you get ahead, because they want you to stay on it. It's like a prison. It's like, it's hard, like I said, it's easy it's a trap. It's easy to get sucked in. So and we must have got hit last night pretty good. Fucking lake right here. But like, okay, so back to the women. They're going to resort back to being conservative. They're gonna end up wanting to do what they will abandon feminism, man. I don't think it's legit. I don't think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think that the way I see it is the feminists want both the best of both worlds. They want all the benefits without any responsibility. Well, that doesn't last, especially when you depend on other people to take over that responsibility, and they don't get any benefits. What do you think is going to happen? You think men are going to keep putting up with this shit? No, we're just going to work less and less. And like I say, we're just going to work less and less. And you women are going to have to take over the fucking dirty jobs. You go pay those fucking taxes. And there'll be some that are going to be like, oh, I don't need no man. Like, okay, be by yourself. You know, because you're going to be by yourself. You're not going to have the online validation anymore. You're not going to have anyone you might have your dog. Like, I don't know why. Like, I've heard, like, what they're doing with their animals, which is illegal. I mean, I've heard different things. I heard that I mean, there's some YouTuber back in the day, like in 2020, where she was like banging her dog. I'm like, dude, that's messed up, man. Like, how are you gonna resort to that? How are you gonna resort to? You have access to whatever man you want sexually, and you're gonna do that? That's disgusting. Like, really. Like, women nowadays, what I've noticed is they care more about eating than they do having a man in their life. And I'm not saying eating to survive, abundance of eating. That's why they're like, so many of them are so heavy, and it baffles me with these people who are for the fat acceptance and they're for climate change too. It's like, dude, these people are taking a bunch of like you know how much it takes to sustain a fat person, and you people are advocating that, like how much wear and tear on the environment. That's why these people on the left, I don't take any of these people fucking seriously, man, because they're fucking hypocrites. They don't all they want to do is collect all these little, like, supposed or could be oppressed groups, and say they're for them, like the working class and shit. And all they're trying to do is just get their vote for power. They don't give a fuck about any fucking group, any small group. They're just trying to gather fucking votes, and they'll say or do whatever. They're like, they're prostitutes, man. They'll do or say whatever it takes to get that fucking vote. And if it means killing you, they'll do it. They don't care. But like these feminists are, they're not like the classical classic first wave feminists where they're all about wanting to vote. They are delusional, out of touch, and a lot of these females don't have any type of accountability, so they're highly entitled because of men. Like, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit if most women here, unless they're like in a cult, like in a type of, like, not a cult, but like in an Amish type of scenario, or a cult like type, you know, kind of like Waco. They're fucking feminists, dude. They're I don't give a shit if they're a Christian, they're right wing. Like, dude, Laura Boebert, you know, I like her, and I'm kind of starting to not to like her. Same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, because the longer somebody's in office, the more of a sellout they become. They're okay for right now, but they're feminists, dude. Like, they're fucking feminists, man. They're not traditionalists. They're both divorced. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you could think that, oh, I got me a good Christian woman, or I got me a good, what was it, trad con, woman in my life, but she's some level of feminist. There's some level of it in her. Maybe not like I'm gonna walk around without a shirt on, I don't show my titties to everybody, but, and say I'm a nasty woman. Maybe not that level, but there's some level of feminist in her. And I guarantee, like I said, I guarantee you, when the shit hits the fan, and I don't know if there's gonna be a collapse, man. And if there is, I don't think it's gonna be Mad Max. I really don't. You know, I hear all these like YouTubers, or I see them like their thumbnails, oh, intimate, not intimate, but intimate collapse or this is happening, bad, 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 bad. It's like, dude, that's your whole fucking channel's bad, bad, bad. You're all warning about collapse for like the last 5 fucking years, man. Yes, things are bad. You know when there'll be a collapse? If all the unions get together and they all strike at the same time, then there'll be a collapse. That's not gonna fucking happen. Not gonna happen. The system's gonna keep going as long as people are fed. And that's how it is. But like, these women will go from feminist to 1890s women, traditional women. Like they'll go to Amish style women. If the scenario happens with AI, like the Sims going to AI and AI taking all the office jobs, and then women have to go and do all the dirty work, all the dirty jobs, they're gonna get rid of feminism like instantly. And it's a real possibility, and they're gonna have to. And a lot of these women are gonna be stuck because they've been conditioning guys to not be in their life. So we're like good. We're conditioned for them not to be around, and then all of a sudden they're gonna come and like want us to bail their ass out. Like, no, fuck off, fuck off. You think I'm gonna pay for your student loan debt? You've been with all these dudes, and you think that I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save you like a fucking princess? You're not a fucking princess, man. You're basically a prostitute. Like, body count does matter. It does. Whether it's like you won't be able to pair bond with your man if you have a bunch of other men in you. And there is a lot of that nowadays. And you know, these red pill guys are like, oh, look at the young women. Dude, these women have been ran through too, man. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, what, dude? Most women have been ran through, and they can because sex is easy for them. But and whatever I'm saying, hell, you know, I'm not shocked by anything, and it could be all fucking wrong, and we can continue this thing, and it's gonna continue, and there's not gonna be any fucking problems, and women are just gonna take over, and we're just gonna be slaves, and that could happen too. You know, look at all the dudes who are into being dominated, or being, you know, that could happen. So I could be wrong, man. I could be wrong. But I really do think that the sim thing with AI is going to be a huge thing. That definitely is going to be a huge thing. And it will impact women dramatically, because being able to take a computer system and then just yourself, you can make whatever you want, any type of, you don't need to like women, and then you can put her in any type of scenario and then interact and interact digitally, and like that shit's coming, man. So play games, like women. It's so weird that women have their primary only value that they focus on is like how they look, nothing else really, or just trying to be like a man, a shitty version of us. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I could be right, and we could see this happen like 5 years or less, or I could be completely fucking wrong. It's a lot of these women, I think they're just going to be by themselves. I think a lot of them probably end up just being fucking homeless, and they might actually self-delete a lot too. So they might be euthanized. I'm just saying, like, parasites will be euthanized in the future, and it's looked at like a not normal thing. But if you, back when I was a kid, gays wasn't looked at like a normal thing, and now it's normalized and it's cool with society. So like, yeah,